What it is, what it do, YouTube family. Proud to bring you guys another dope video. Y'all gonna love this one right here. This is 8 rappers that are fake gangsters. When you are fake gangsters, eventually the truth will get to the light. Let's get into it.
As one of the founding fathers of gangsta rap, yet you've never been affiliated with any gang. And the only time you've had a run-in with the law was for unpaid parking tickets. And then there's the so-called hip-hop's first female gangsta rapper, who actually grew up in a middle-class family, taking piano and ballet lessons in school. The allure of being gangsta has always been a potent selling point in the hip-hop world. However, some rappers have only donned the gangsta persona and are never really about that life. Tekashi 6ix9ine. Tekashi 6ix9ine burst onto the rap scene in 2017 with his breakout single Gummo. The music video, filmed at a 9 Trey Bloods headquarters in Bedford-Stuyvesant, Brooklyn, was a visual spectacle that introduced the world to Tekashi's flamboyant style. Surrounded by gang members brandishing firearms and flaunting gang signs, Tekashi's image was that of a hardcore gangster rapper. This aggressive and provocative persona quickly caught the attention of millions, propelling him to instant fame. But Tekashi's rise wasn't just about his music. His social media antics played a crucial role in building his notoriety. With over 14 million followers on Instagram, Tekashi used the platform to engage in public feuds with other rappers, including Ohio's Trippie Redd, Brooklyn's Casanova, and Los Angeles YG. These conflicts often escalated into online battles, with Tekashi.
Now, when you portraying to be a blood, and when you're not really a blood, and you beefing with these other rappers that is really bloods and really gangsters, you're gonna get caught up, man. He's rolling with the 9 Trey Bloods. Those are real blood gangsters. And those dudes was just extorting him. And he was just using them to portray that gangster image. Let's get into it.
Tekashi taunting and provoking his rivals, earning him the reputation of being one of rap's biggest internet trolls. Throughout this period, Tekashi made sure to align himself with the Blood Street Gang, frequently flashing their signature red color and gang signs in his posts and videos. This association bolstered his image as a gangster, making his persona more believable to his fans and the public. The combination of his aggressive music, provocative social media presence, and purported gang affiliations created a perfect storm that catapulted Tekashi 6ix9ine to the top of the rap game. However, as Tekashi's fame grew, so did the scrutiny. Questions began to arise about the authenticity of his gangster persona. Was Tekashi 6ix9ine truly a product of the streets, or was he merely playing a role to boost his career? The answers to these questions would soon come to light, revealing a story of deception and exploitation that would shock the world. In 2018, the facade of Tekashi 6ix9ine's gangster persona began to unravel. On November 18th, Tekashi was arrested on serious charges of racketeering and firearm offenses alongside members of the 9 Trey Gangsters, a notorious subset of the Blood Street Gang. The arrest sent shockwaves through the music industry and his fan base as the colorful rapper faced the grim reality of potentially spending decades behind bars. Tekashi 6ix9ine was not a genuine gang member. According to reports from the Daily News, the 9 Trey Gangsters was extorting Tekashi. This information was further corroborated during a phone call between New York rapper Jim Jones and 9 Trey member Jamel Mel Murder Jones, which was played by prosecutors during the trial. Jim Jones stated, "He was never a gang member. He was always a money ploy for the gang members." The revelation that Tekashi was merely a pawn in the gang's operations painted a picture of a young rapper who had gotten in over his head. The 9 Trey Gangsters saw Tekashi's potential to generate money and used him to their advantage, while Tekashi used the gang's image to bolster his own street credibility. It was a mutually exploitative relationship built on deception. Snitching is the ultimate betrayal, and for a rapper who had built his image on being a gangster, this was the ultimate contradiction. Tekashi's cooperation with the authorities was pivotal in dismantling the 9 Trey Gangsters. His testimony and the evidence he provided led to the conviction of several key members of the gang. In 2020, Tekashi was granted an early release from prison due to concerns over his health amid the COVID-19 pandemic. Tekashi suffers from severe asthma, which made him particularly vulnerable to the virus. Despite his early release, the stigma of being a snitch followed Tekashi. His decision to flip on the 9 Trey Gangsters ensured his freedom, but came at the cost of his credibility in the rap community. Tyga. Tyga rose to fame with his debut album No Introduction, but it wasn't long before he had to reintroduce himself and clarify his background. Tyga has always claimed to be from Compton, a city in California known for its rough streets and gang culture. This claim helped him build a persona that resonated with fans who admired the gritty, street-smart image he projected. However, in December of 2013, old footage surfaced that cast doubt on Tyga's claims. The footage was from a show called Boosters, which aimed to expose fake gangsters. In the clip, a teenage Tyga is seen talking about his upbringing in Los Angeles, San Fernando Valley. He says, "Grew up not too tough, parents had a Range Rover, doing it big, not too much hard, but I'm still street." This statement was a stark contrast to his claims of growing up in Compton and living a tough life. The leaked footage quickly went viral, and fans were left questioning Tyga's authenticity. How could someone who claimed to be from the rough streets of Compton also say they grew up in the affluent San Fernando Valley with parents who owned a Range Rover? The discrepancy was too significant to ignore, and Tyga found himself at the center of a controversy that threatened to derail his career. In an attempt to set the record straight, Tyga appeared on Big Boy's Neighborhood, a popular radio show on Los Angeles' Power 106. Tyga explained that the intro of the Bustas clip was scripted. He said, "I never grew up in the Valley. I lived in Compton, Gardena my whole life. I'm young. I'm ambitious. I don't care. I'm getting a check for this. I'm having fun. I'm about to be on TV." Tyga's explanation was that he was simply
Okay, now with Tyga's situation, that's not bad. You see what I'm saying? He was probably 14 years old. They're giving him a check to be on a show that's scripted. You see what I'm saying? That doesn't mean he wasn't from Compton. Because there's a lot of other rappers like The Game and YG and them who claim that, yeah, he is from Compton. And he do mess around with some real gangsters and some bloods. So Tyga's situation is not that bad. You see what I'm saying? I could understand that. He was just a young man trying to get that money.
playing a role for the show, and that his real upbringing was in Compton and Gardena. Despite his efforts to clarify the situation, the damage was already done. The leaked footage had already planted seeds of doubt in the minds of his fans and critics. Many people found it hard to believe that someone who claimed to be from Compton would participate in a show like Bustas and make such contradictory statements, even if it was scripted. The controversy raised questions about Tyga's credibility and whether his gangster persona was just an act. Rick Ross, whose real name is William Leonard Roberts II, burst onto the hip-hop scene with his 2006 hit Hustlin', which painted a vivid picture of a Miami mafioso whose financial success came from being a drug-dealing outlaw. The song's infectious hook and Ross's larger-than-life persona quickly made him a household name. He cultivated an image of a streetwise hustler who had risen through the ranks of the criminal underworld to achieve fame and fortune. However, shortly after his rise to fame, rumors began to surface that cast doubt on Ross's gangsta image. Whispers circulated that before his rap career took off, Ross had worked as a corrections officer. This revelation was shocking to many fans who had bought into his carefully crafted persona. Ross initially denied the claims, telling MTV it's no truth to it. He maintained that the rumors were baseless and that his street cred.
Now that's the only problem with Ross. I mess with the boss. I like Rick Ross. You feel me? But only problem with that is if you was a correctional officer, just come out with the truth. Just be like, yeah, I was a correctional officer. I was trying to get that money. You know what I mean? But when you go out and lie, then turn around and give the truth after, when they find out, that makes you look bad, homie. You feel me? Because the truth will come to light.
Credibility was intact, but the rumors refused to die down. Then a photo appeared online showing a young man who looked strikingly similar to a beardless Rick Ross, dressed in a corrections officer's uniform and shaking hands with someone. The photo quickly went viral, and fans and critics alike began to question the authenticity of Ross's gangster persona. The image was a stark contrast to the drug-dealing outlaw he portrayed in his music. The situation escalated when The Smoking Gun, a website known for uncovering hidden truths, released an actual employment employment record that showed Ross did indeed work as
See,
a
that's that
corrections
shit.
officer for 18 months at the South Florida Reception Center starting in 1995. This concrete evidence left Ross with little room to maneuver. The employment record was irrefutable proof that he had once held a job that was the antithesis of the gangster image he projected. Faced with undeniable evidence, Ross eventually came clean about his past in a 2009 interview with XXL. He admitted, yes, it was me in those pictures, but I'ma tell you this, me taking that job, I was doing my job. You understand what I mean? The stuff I talk about is real. Ross explained that his decision to work as a corrections
That's what I'm
officer
saying.
was a
Keep it
means
real,
to an
man.
end, a way to support himself financially before his rap career took off. He also emphasized that his experiences and the stories he told in his music were still authentic, even if his past included a stint as a corrections officer. Despite his admission, the revelation had a lasting impact on Ross's public perception. Many fans felt betrayed, believing that the persona they had admired was built on a lie. Critics were quick to pounce, using the revelation as ammunition to question Ross's credibility and authenticity. The image of a former corrections officer rapping about a life of crime and hustling was difficult for many to reconcile. 21 Savage. 21 Savage burst onto the rap scene with a raw, unfiltered style that quickly set him apart from his peers. His music, characterized by gritty street tales and a menacing delivery, painted a vivid picture of life on the tough streets of Atlanta. Tracks like No Heart and Bank Account became anthems, resonating with fans who appreciated his authenticity and unflinching portrayal of street life. From the outset, 21 Savage's public persona was that of a hardened gangster. He often spoke about his experiences with violence, crime, and survival in interviews, reinforcing the image of a man who had lived through the harsh realities he rapped about. His face tattoos, including the infamous dagger on his forehead, became symbols of his tough persona, adding to the mystique surrounding him. Lyrically, 21 Savage didn't hold back. His verses were filled with references to guns, drugs, and the struggles of growing up in a dangerous environment. Songs like Red Ops and X showcased his ability to turn personal pain and hardship into compelling music. His collaborations with other high-profile artists such as Drake and Post Malone further cemented his status as a major player in the rap game. Before the revelation of his immigration status, 21 Savage was widely regarded as one of the most authentic voices in hip-hop. His rise to fame was seen as a testament to his resilience and ability to overcome adversity. Fans and critics alike praised him for his honesty and the raw emotion he brought to his music. He was not just a rapper, he was a symbol of the struggle and a voice for those who had lived similar lives. But beneath the surface, there was a secret that would soon come to light, challenging everything people thought they knew about 21 Savage. His carefully crafted image as a gangster rapper from Atlanta was put to the test with the revelation that 21 Savage, the rapper who had built his career on gritty tales of life in Atlanta, was not an American citizen. He was born in the United Kingdom, a fact that had been kept under wraps for years. According to a statement released by his legal team and public.
Now, 21 Savage is a gangster. I ain't gonna lie. 21 Savage get down. Them slaughter gangs, them boys don't play. Now, just because the man denied being from England, that don't mean he's not a gangster. There's some gangsters that get down out in England, out in London. You feel me? So with that, I ain't gonna say 21 Savage is a fake gangster because he denied being from England. You feel me? Because 21 get down.
Published in Rolling Stone, Savage came to the United States legally at 7 years old in 2005. However, his visa expired in 2006, and he had been living in the U.S. illegally ever since. This revelation was a bombshell. For years, 21 Savage had crafted an image of a tough, streetwise rapper from Atlanta. His lyrics and public persona were all built around this narrative. But now, it seemed that the foundation of his career was built on a lie. The news of his British nationality and immigration status spread like wildfire, with social media ablaze with memes, comments, and reactions. The public's reaction was mixed. Some fans felt betrayed, questioning the authenticity of the rapper they had admired for his supposed realness. Others were more understanding, recognizing the difficult situation Savage found himself in. The memes and jokes, however, were relentless. The internet was flooded with images of 21 Savage in British attire, sipping tea and speaking in a posh accent. The contrast between his tough persona and his newly revealed background was too much for many to resist. Ice Cube. Ice Cube's journey into the world of music and entertainment began long before he became a household name. Born O'Shea Jackson on June 15, 1969, in South Central Los Angeles, Ice Cube grew up in an environment that was often harsh and unforgiving. The streets of South Central were notorious for gang violence, poverty, and systemic neglect, shaping the lives of many young people in the area. Ice Cube attended William Howard Taft High School in Woodland Hills, a predominantly white middle-class neighborhood. This experience exposed him to a different world, far removed from the violence and struggles of South Central. It was during his high school years that Cube developed a passion for writing and music. He began penning lyrics and performing at local venues, quickly gaining a reputation for his sharp wit and powerful storytelling. In the mid-1980s, Ice Cube's life took a pivotal turn when he met Dr. Dre, a talented DJ and producer who would later become a legendary figure in the music industry. Alongside Dre, Cube joined a group called CIA Crew in Action, which performed at parties and clubs around Los Angeles. However, it wasn't until the formation of NWA with Attitudes in 1986 that Ice Cube's career truly began to take off. NWA was a groundbreaking group that included Dr. Dre, Eazy-E, MC Ren, DJ Yella, and Ice Cube. Together, they created a new genre of music known as gangster rap, characterized by its raw, unfiltered depiction of life in the streets. Their lyrics addressed issues such as police brutality, gang violence, and systemic racism, resonating with a generation of young people who felt marginalized and voiceless. Ice Cube quickly emerged as one of the group's most prominent voices, known for his aggressive delivery and hard-hitting lyrics. Songs like Straight Outta Compton and the Police became anthems for those who felt oppressed by the system. Cube's verses were filled with vivid imagery and unapologetic commentary, painting a picture of a young man who had seen and experienced the harsh realities of street life. The music videos for these songs further solidified Ice Cube's image as a gangster rapper. In the video for Straight Outta Compton, Cube is seen wearing a black baseball cap, dark sunglasses, and a menacing scowl, embodying the persona of a streetwise outlaw. This image was carefully crafted to resonate with the group's target audience and to challenge the mainstream portrayal of African American youth. However, behind the scenes, Ice Cube's life was not as closely aligned with his gangster persona as his lyrics might suggest. Wow. Alonzo Williams, a key figure in the early West Coast rap scene and the man who claimed to have signed Cube to his first record deal, described him as a great kid who was far removed from the violent lifestyle he rapped about. In a 2015 interview with Vlad TV, Williams stated, "Hit me up. He's a great actor. Ice Cube was a great kid, just a nice kid, so I see wasn't gangbanging it on Hana, was it? Was a little weird hearing about all this gangbanging and stuff from someone that doesn't gangbang it off. Hit me up." Despite these revelations,
Now, damn, Cube, you done messed up, man. You grew up in a middle class. You went to a white high school. You was never gangbanging. But your lyrics, the way you portray yourself, you act like you a gangster, but you was none of that. All the things you was talking about is other people's lives. That was nothing about you that was authentic about being a gangster. Now we see why you such a great actor for real. Wow. Now that's a fake gangster.
Ice Cube never publicly refuted Williams' claims. Instead, he continued to build his career, both as a rapper and an actor, seamlessly transitioning between different personas. In a 2016 interview with NPR's Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me, Cube admitted that he wrote songs to better understand his life as a young person growing up in South Central Los Angeles. This admission suggests that his lyrics were more a reflection of his environment and the experiences of those around him, rather than a direct account of his own life. Boss. The early 1990s were a transformative time for hip-hop. The genre was evolving and gangster rap was at the forefront, capturing the raw realities of street life. Amidst this backdrop, a new voice emerged, Boss. Born Lachelle Laws, she burst onto the scene with a fierce and unapologetic style that immediately caught the attention of fans and critics alike. Boss's debut album, Born Gangstas, released in 1993, was a game changer. The album's gritty lyrics and hard-hitting beats painted a vivid picture of a life filled with danger, crime, and survival. Tracks like Deeper and Recipe of a resonated with listeners who believed they were hearing the authentic voice of a woman who had lived through the struggles she rapped about. Born Gangstas was a commercial success, climbing the charts and earning critical acclaim. The album's raw energy and Boss's commanding presence set her apart in a male-dominated genre. She was hailed as hip-hop's first female gangsta rapper, a title that came with both admiration and scrutiny. Fans were captivated by Boss's fearless persona. She was seen as a trailblazer, breaking barriers and challenging stereotypes. The media praised her for bringing a fresh perspective to gangsta rap, and her influence began to spread. Boss was on the rise, and it seemed like nothing could stop her. But as Boss's star continued to ascend, whispers of doubt began to surface. Questions about her true background and the authenticity of her gangsta image would soon come to light. In 1994, just a year after the release of Born Gangstas, an article in the Wall Street Journal sent shockwaves through the hip-hop community. The investigation revealed startling details about Boss's true background, details that starkly contrasted with her gangsta rapper persona. Contrary to the gritty street life she rapped about, Boss was raised in a middle-class neighborhood in Detroit. She attended Catholic school, where she excelled in academics and extracurricular activities. She even studied piano and ballet, pursuits far removed from the gangsta image.
Wow, you see? I could have tell she been fake. You feel me? I could tell somebody was writing her lyrics. I could have tell that she was portraying an image. Middle class, went to Catholic school, ballerina dancing, playing the piano. When the hell did you have time to be doing all that gangster shit, drinking, doing all that? The truth came to light. You ain't no boss. You a fake gangster.
She portrayed in her music. The revelation sparked a media frenzy. Headlines questioned her credibility, and fans felt betrayed. How could someone from such a background claim to understand the harsh realities of street life? The controversy cast a long shadow over Boss's career, and the backlash was swift and unforgiving. Boss didn't remain silent. In an interview with the Detroit Metro Times, she addressed the critics directly. Critics started with me saying, "She's from a middle-class neighborhood, how can she be gangster?" she recalled. Despite her efforts to defend her artistry, the damage was done. The perception of her as a fake gangster rapper took hold, and Boss's career never really recovered till she passed away in March 2024. Dr. Dre, born in Compton, California, grew up in a city notorious for its gang violence and street culture. His early life was marked by the struggles and challenges that many young men in Compton faced. Despite these hardships, Dr. Dre found solace in music, developing a passion for DJing and producing at a young age. In the mid-1980s, Dr. Dre joined the world-class Wrecking Crew, a group that performed electro-hop, a genre that was popular at the time. However, it was his next venture that would catapult him into the limelight and forever changed the landscape of hip-hop. In 1986, Dr. Dre co-founded NWA with Attitudes, alongside Eazy-E, Ice Cube, MC Ren, and DJ Yella. This group would go on to become one of the most influential and controversial acts in the history of rap music. NWA's debut album, Straight Outta Compton, released in 1988, was a raw and unfiltered depiction of life in the streets of Compton. The album's explicit lyrics and aggressive delivery painted a vivid picture of gang violence, police brutality, and the harsh realities of urban life. Dr. Dre's production skills were instrumental in crafting the group's signature sound, characterized by hard-hitting beats and innovative sampling techniques. As NWA gained notoriety, Dr. Dre's image as a gangster was solidified. The group's music videos and public appearances often featured them dressed in gang attire, further reinforcing their street credibility. Songs like Gangsta Gangsta and Thou Police became anthems for a generation of disenfranchised youth, and Dr. Dre's role as a producer and rapper made him a central figure in the gangsta rap movement. Despite the tough exterior portrayed in his music, Dre's personal life told a different story. Unlike many of his peers, Dre was never a member of either of Compton's most infamous gangs, the Crips or the Bloods. In a city where gang affiliation was almost a rite of passage.
Now we all know Dr. Dre ain't no gangster. Because the lyrics that Dr. Dre was spitting, Ice Cube wrote that, Snoop wrote that, and the DOC wrote that. Now, with NWA, there was only two gangsters in that group. Real gangsters. That was Eazy-E and MC Ren. Other than that, Ice Cube was a fake. Dre was a fake. And DJ Yellow, where he never portrayed to be a gangster, he was just a DJ. And Dre was just a producer. So Dre was just living somebody else's life He was not no gangster. We all could see that. We all could tell that. And I never believed Dre was no gangster.
Dre's lack of allegiance to either group was surprising. This fact alone has led many to question the authenticity of his gangster image. One of the most sensational and shocking revelations about Dr. Dre is that, despite his tough persona, his criminal record is relatively minor. While he has spent time in jail, it was not for any gang-related activities. According to Exclaim, Dre's time behind bars was due to unpaid parking tickets. This mundane reason for his incarceration starkly contrasts with the violent and dangerous lifestyle he often raps about. Also, behind the scenes, tensions were brewing within the group. Eazy-E, who had a genuine background in street life as a former drug dealer, began to question Dr. Dre's authenticity. Eazy-E accused Dr. Dre of being a studio gangster, someone who rapped about a life he had never truly lived. This accusation would later become a significant point of contention and fuel the rivalry between the two. Vanilla Ice. Vanilla Ice's rise to fame was swift. In 1990, his debut album, To the Extreme, took the music world by storm. The album's lead single, Ice Ice Baby, became the first hip-hop single to top the Billboard charts, catapulting Vanilla Ice into the spotlight. With his catchy beats and infectious energy, Vanilla Ice quickly became a household name. But it wasn't just his music that captured the public's attention. It was his carefully crafted rap persona, a tough, streetwise gangster who had clawed his way up from the mean streets of Miami. Vanilla Ice claimed to have grown up in a rough Miami neighborhood, surrounded by violence and crime. He told stories of getting into knife fights and living a life of danger. In a 1990 interview with People magazine, he even showed off a scar on his backside, claiming he had been stabbed 5 times in one night. See that? I got stabbed 5 times one night, lost half the blood in my body. These tales of a rough upbringing and street life added to his allure, making him seem like a genuine product of the streets. His gritty backstory captivated fans, and the media couldn't get enough of the rapper who had supposedly overcome such adversity. Vanilla Ice's image as a street-hardened gangster was further bolstered by his claims of attending the same Miami high school as 2 Live crew leader Luther Campbell. He also boasted about being a star for the national championship team Honda on the professional motocross circuit in the mid-80s. These elements of his backstory painted a picture of a multifaceted individual who had not only survived the streets, but also excelled in other areas. It was a compelling narrative that helped Vanilla Ice stand out in the competitive world of rap. But as Vanilla Ice's fame grew, so did the...
Now, Vanilla Ice is not even supposed to be on that list. Let's be serious now. Whoever thought Vanilla Ice was gangster, you bugging. This cracker cannot be no gangster. You could tell that from day one. Shook dangling him from a building and all that. I won't even put him on that list. You feel me? So, we already know straight off the rip that was a fake gangster. Wow.
Scrutiny. Reporters and fans alike began to question the authenticity of his claims. The cracks in his carefully constructed persona were starting to show, and it wouldn't be long before the truth came to light. Reporters discovered that Vanilla Ice, whose real name is Robert Van Winkle, didn't grow up in a tough Miami neighborhood as he had claimed. Instead, he hailed from a well-to-do suburb of Dallas, Texas. He had attended R.L. Turner High School in Farmers Branch, a far cry from the rough streets he described. The revelations didn't stop there. Vanilla Ice's claim of attending the same Miami high school as 2 Live crew leader Luther Campbell was also debunked. There was no record of him ever being a student there. His mother, who he said was a music teacher at a university in Florida, was actually teaching at a small Miami college. The media frenzy intensified as more inconsistencies in his story came to light. Vanilla Ice had boasted about being a star for the national championship team Honda on the professional motocross circuit in the mid-80s, but reporters found no evidence to support this claim. Instead, it was revealed that he had only been a regional motocross champion in Texas, associated with Kawasaki, not Honda. With his fabricated backstory unraveling, Vanilla Ice was forced to address the mounting evidence against him. In a phone interview with the Los Angeles Times, he admitted to making up several details about his background in his official SBK Records bio and in media interviews. I was embarrassed to tell people I was from Farmers Branch, an inner ring suburb of Dallas. I didn't tell them I was from Miami. I didn't tell them I was from anywhere. Vanilla Ice's attempts to maintain his tough guy image were further undermined by his much publicized tale of being stabbed 5 times in a 1986 gang fight in Dallas. While he insisted that the incident happened and he had the scars to prove it, many doubted the authenticity of his story. The media's relentless...
That was the meaning of an industry plant, you guys. Fuck out of here with that bullshit, Vanilla Ice. I don't know who the hell would believe that. You feel me? But like, subscribe if you like the video. Hit the like. See you next time. Let's get into it, TV. You know what we do. Let's get into it.